what we're talking about is we're just doing sort of a review, right, of the verbiage around the Montana section of the class. And it seems like the first thing that we need to review are the forms, because people are sounding a little vague on what's what. So let's do a review of that. So what are the two agencies again that are in charge of all of our Montana taxes? Yep. Okay. Montana Department of Revenue, a Montana Department of Labor and Industry. Okay. And you can't see anything. Awesome. Montana Department of Revenue is used for which tax? SIT. And what are the steps to get compliant, or what are the steps you need to go through to be compliant as an employer handling SIT? What's the first thing? Easy peasy. Then you get a number called a what? SEIN, State Employer ID number. Right? Okay, awesome. So now I'm valid in the state of Montana to withhold SIT. So you guys I run your first paycheck, I withhold some SIT, now what do I have to worry about doing? I got to deposit it. How often do I do that? The answer is, it depends. It's the exact same answer you gave me when I asked, how often do I deposit my FICA FIT? Your turn. It depends. How often do I deposit my SIT? It depends. How often do I deposit my FICA FIT? It depends. Okay, those two, it depends upon the schedule that the taxing agency gives you, right? How often do I deposit my FUTA? When I hit $500. Hey, hey. Okay, so deposit schedule. You've got three options. Montana's gonna tell you you're either bing, bang, or bong, right? What are they? Accelerated, which is basically what? That's like within that 3 days, right? And the example that we just did in assignment number 2, they were accelerated.
So when you say every 3 days, you mean every 3 days after the paycheck?
Yeah, that if you pay Wednesday through Friday, you got till next Wednesday. You pay Saturday through Tuesday, you got till the next Friday. It's about 3 days. It's a semi-weekly schedule. And if you're not accelerated, then you're what? Mm-hmm. You're monthly. And that means that you've got to deposit within what? That's that 15th of the following month, right? So these two are exactly like Fed. No difference. Not a differencia. What's the last choice? And not choice, sorry, directive. Annual. You're really, really small, you just save and do it annually. If you're one of the first two, accelerated or monthly, what's the name of the coupon that you send your check in with if you're doing manual transfers? It's the name of the coupon you deposit your SIT with. MW1. That's if you're paper, right? If you're a paper filer. Most people now are going to be using the what? Yeah, EFT, electronic funds transfer. Okay.
When you're accelerated, you have to use EFT, right? Is that what it was?
I can't actually answer that. I don't know that it's segregated for people that are accelerated. What I do think is that all new employers coming on board, you have to go with EFT.
So that MW1 won't actually go away.
Yeah, this way. You do an electronic version of that when you transmit. That, I don't know if it's called an MW1 per se in the electronic world. But it has the same data. Okay, if you only file annually, you're going to deposit with your annual return to the Montana Department of Revenue called a what? MW3. And that should be easy to remember because a W3 is what? Yeah, well, a W3 is what we put to, that we send our W2s to the who? Social Security office. We take our W2s and we put our W3 on the front of it, and that goes to Social Security. And then we take another copy of those W2s and put an MW3 on front of it, and it goes to Montana. Remember that flow chart? You should have that flow chart somewhere that you can access pretty easily. We all turned our paper sideways and drew. I would have that somewhere that you can access it pretty easily. That's all I've got to say about Montana. Now, maybe we should go, based upon Amanda's recommendation, and let's take a peek at an MW3, at a payroll, and see if we can do an MW1 and a MW3 based on some data that I'm just freewheeling here on. Let's see, let's go, first off, let's go get a copy of our MW1 and our MW3. So I'm in, where were those, in the assignment section? No, section 3. And let's scroll through. Here's our registration form. All right, why don't you all open up your section 3 on Moodle, under Montana. What page am I on here? Shouldn't I get the page up there? Oh, 18. What's not working?
Oh, the Wi-Fi for this computer?
Oh, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah. Oh, I have.
What's that snap thing? Oh, shit. Am I not supposed to be able to do some, pull it over to the right so I can set up two, where do I grab it though?
Just grab that top bar.
Up, just here?
Yep, yep.
Oh, okay, okay, awesome, that's it right there. Beautiful. Okay,
Well, isn't this Windows 10? You should be able to like drag it farther off the screen and it'll automatically do it for you.
Exactly.
Yeah, so drag the white for the top.
I just
farther off
did.
the corner.
Yeah, she got it.
I got it though, it's snapped back where I want it.
But it usually automatically resizes it for you and pulls up two screens at once.
I gotcha, okay,
Have it to fit.
okay,
She's got to pull it more in the middle, and she kind of holds it from the top.
wait, what did I do wrong?
So you see how it's only half on that side?
Yes,
All right, so you just got to pull it into the middle, not like.
are we gonna have a demonstration?
Yeah, if you go like that.
Okay, help me think this through, excuse
Oh,
me.
you got it.
I also want to bring up another file
So you want
from
split
UM
screen?
Online.
Well,
Yeah,
so if you just go like this and drag it far, there you go.
mini.
Oh, so I don't have to take the final.
Yeah, that's how that works. Okay, so, but I want to get rid of that, and I'm gonna, so now this guy, how do I do that?
Oh, I don't think you can do.
Just open it as a window.
No, you can grab the tab and drag it over.
Oh, okay.
Ha!
That works.
Are you guys having fun watching me? Ah,
It's like I'm helping my mom.
stellar. Ah, but then you can't maximize it. Don't ever maximize it then.
Pull it to the middle. Yeah, you pull it to the top, you got to pull it to the middle.
All right, no, I'm happy with where it's at now. Leave me alone. I've gotten as much help as I need. All right, so what I'm trying to do is pull up a payroll register, and then we're gonna use the data, and we're gonna do an MW1 and MW3, and maybe we can even pull off a UI5 so that you have some reinforcement. Sorry, Schuyler. All right, and again, okay, and then I just have to pull it manually down. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Ugh, I need to get more proficient with this. What, why?
There you
Okay. All right. Excellent. And then let's just make the view a little bit smaller because this is a little big. Ha! I can be taught. Okay. So we have a bi-weekly payroll.
Which one of these are you open?
Sure value. Right, sure value. Bi-weekly payroll. Just by looking at the size of this payroll, what do you reckon they are? You reckon they're annual, semi-weekly, accelerated, or monthly? That's for really, really tiny ones. I think they're probably monthly. They're definitely not big enough to be semi-weekly. I think they're too big for annual. I wouldn't ask you that question because you don't know, but I was just saying like eyeballing it. Okay, so bi-weekly. So how many times a month is this payroll run? That's a year. So we're 26 times a year. How many times a month? 2 or maybe 3. So I've got to tell you that. And I did. There you go. So I think the first thing that you have to do for me, please, is see, and you don't have this hard copy. So really, you're filling out. Really, we're just looking at this. So if they're paid twice in a month, in July, how much SIT, let me give you two things to do. I want you to calculate my SIT deposit, and then I also want you to complete the gross wages and the SIT for the MW3. Okay, so let me say all that again. You can write it down. I'm not going to try and bring up a third screen. It'll be too much. Let me just say this. I want you to complete lines 1 through 4 for the July MW1. See, write that down. I want you to complete lines 1 through 4 for the MW1 for July. Then I want you to complete for the MW3 lines 1 through 6. Okay? You know what you're doing? Sort of, kind of? That is the answer I'm looking for. Lines 1 through 4 of the MW1 for July, lines 1 through 6 of the MW3, yeah, for the year. It is. Period ending date. So if I'm a monthly depositor, what's my period ending date? 7:30. Anybody need a prompt? Go ahead. Well, I mean, I'd write in my notes MW1 and then lines 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess you don't have the Montana account ID. Are we ready to look at it, or you need a few? I'm blessed. Okay, so, God bless again. On the MW1, I think our first line was just copying the FEIN, right? Yep. Oh, I'm looking right at it. Second one, period ending date, 7/30. This is the SEIN that I got when I did my registration up here, right? And my deposit is just, what was it, $69.12 per paycheck? $69.12 of SIT withholding. And I need to multiply that by what?
69.22.
Oh, $69.42. Yeah. So I'm depositing $138.84. Then on the MW3, let's see. So I've got to click over here, and then I should be able to go down to those pretty easily. Okay, number of W-2s attached. Yeah. Number of 1099s attached. None. Total Montana income paid per W-2s. In other words, this is the transmittal that ties to all the W-2s, right? And I ran 2314 a paycheck, and there was 26 checks in the year. So I think my gross was 60,164. Total Montana withholding tax. If all the checks looked exactly the same, which isn't probably a very fair assumption when you've got overtime, but to make it easy, so I just multiply the 6942 again by what? The 26, right? 1804.92, and actually on these you need pennies. And that wants to know, how much of that withholding tax did you pay during the year? How much of that Montana withholding tax did you pay during the year? Why? How do you know that? Because I was required to deposit monthly. The only situation that 5 would be different from 4 is if you're what? Annual. Or you screwed up. But I didn't screw up because you guys are processing payroll and you're all top notch.
So you deposit when you're at 500, right?
No, that's FUTA. So the difference is 0. And then all those lines below it is where we do all the payroll by payroll by payroll by payroll. But that's just busy work, and really, honestly, it's just going to come off your software anyways. Okay, so the other 2 reports that we practiced in this section was a UI5 and our workers' comp report. So let's take a look at those.
What was the UI5 again?
That is the unemployment report. Actually, let's do one more thing while we're here on Montana. Let me give you a couple payrolls and make sure that you're conversant. I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. It's like she's got a little, it's like, what is that small creature? Let me give you a couple payrolls and make sure that you can withhold SIT according to the tables. So let's say that Sarah is married with 3 and she's paid monthly. And her annual salary is $260,000. Married with 3. She's a oncologist in town. I should make a lot more than 260. She'd pay her closer to 760. But anyways, I just want to get you down at the bottom of the tables. Obviously, first you have to break it down to what each check is. Is there any difference between married and single for Montana? So I'm just reading it out loud here. The tax is $599 plus 6.6% of the amount over $11,000. So you want to write the algebraic formula out. This should look very familiar to you. It's exactly like the federal tables, except for the federal tables, before we go to them, we have to do what? The allowances, exactly. You have to go to that table of allowance values on page T-2 and subtract the number of allowances times how often they're paid, is that whole table number. So again, like that's something I would have marked in my book. So I can flip to that pretty easily.
So then if she had like a retirement plan or something with like pre-tax, then.
Great question. If she had a retirement plan that was pre-tax, I guess, I can't see when I'm up there. If she had a retirement plan that was tax-free or a flex or an HSA or anything, it would come right off this gross number before you went to the tables. So the math here, I'm assuming we can all use our calculators, equals times 0.066 equals 704 and 599 does not equal $39. What does it equal? 1303? No, is that right? Sorry, I had something wrong. Okay, so everybody can do an MW1. Those are really easy. Everybody can do an MW3. Whole key there is just how many times a year am I paid? And use the tables. Okay, so now let's go find our UI5. Which isn't, well, let's go back to our review. Okay, so now I'm back here. I think we've talked about everything there is to talk about with Montana. Okay, DOLI stands for? Good, Department of Labor and Industry, and we turn to them for our, which tax? Yep, sometimes it's called unemployment insurance. In here, when I did the tax table, I call it what? No, we do like the FICA, that's, I call it SUDA. So SUDA and unemployment insurance are the same thing. Okay? So with them, first thing I got to do is what? Register. Okay. Do I have deposit requirements with SUDA? Is it a withholding tax or an employer tax? It's an employer. So do I have a deposit or do I do a report? You do a report and then you send the money with it. How often do I do the report? Quarterly. And what's it called? We just said it. And you send in your money with it, right? You know all this. Here, I'll just have you fun writing it down again, right? I think Amanda's point is very valid that very rarely will students pick up, especially minutia like this that isn't intuitive. There's no thread to connect it, like UI5, CP12. I mean, there's no, it's not contextualized that you need to hear it a few times. Okay. So, tell me about SUDA. I pay What percentage? That's foods.
Oh, it depends.
It depends.
Yeah, it's a range.
It depends on two things. What are they? One more time. There's those 11 schedules, and the state publishes, the actuaries tell the state which one to publish that most clearly reflects the solvency of the pool, right? So if there's lots of money in it, you're going to have a really low rate schedule for the next year because you don't want to tax your employers too much. But if you're looking really like plans are skinny, you're gonna tax more because you need to buff up the fund. But that doesn't depend anything on you individually. That's the whole state. You can't control that. So say I'm on Schedule 3. Then I'm one of two choices within Schedule 3 this year. What are those two choices? Jenna? Yeah?
It's eligible.
Yeah, a deficit employer or a surplus employer, also known as an eligible employer. So you're either a deficit employer or you're a surplus/eligible employer. Those are synonymous terms. Which one do you want to be? Surplus, obviously. Okay. So, and I've got to tell you all that. You've got to probably sit back and do what I just said about how the rates are calculated, but I've got to give you a rate to do the problem. I don't need to give you the cap because you know that, which is $32,000. And again, is it employer or employer paid? Employer. Okay. So here's the sitch. I've got 3 employees. I'm paid bi-weekly. Because I'm paid bi-weekly, I've got to tell you how many times a quarter they're paid, right? Because that's not the same every quarter. So the first quarter, they all get 7 checks. Second quarter, 6. Third quarter, 7. Second quarter, fourth quarter, 6. And you can do that. There's 3 employees. A gets a gross of $23.14 a check. B gets a gross of $592 a check. C gets a gross of $6,000 a check. And I want you to do the third quarter UI5. I want you to do the third quarter UI5. And I got to give you a rate. It is on page 32. I love this split screen. It's so onerous for me to get to it, but it's a very helpful thing to have. And my SUTA rate is 2.8. I'm in the third quarter. Here is my paycheck. What do you think you have to do before you certainly can't go into the report yet, do you? Can you? What do you have to do for backup report? Really? Go ahead. You have to calculate year-to-date wages before I get into the quarter and doing UI5. Okay. Right? And then B, you have to figure out what? Well, you have to figure out then what their wages are for the third quarter. And then you have to figure out if they have to. So I'm going to give you, Shyler, it's going to be dead tape. I'm going to give you 7 minutes. Does that sound about right? And if anybody needs help, just raise your hand.
Wait, so what's the rate that we tax at?
The SUDA is the 2.8 is the SUDA rate.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So you're going to fill out just this little bit in here, right? And then lines 1 through 10, please. Why don't you guys all start by getting the year-to-date wages for everybody, and we'll check in there. Okay, so just to check in, here's your year-to-date wages for the 3 of them. So those were just the gross times 13, right? They've all been paid 13 times. Year-to-date wages for A, year-to-date wages for B, year-to-date wages for C. Then the next thing you need to figure out is their butt. You got to figure out their quarterly wages for Q3. And then your last column is excess wages. Okay, you ready to take a peek? Do I have a thumbs up on the numbers? Okay, so all I did was multiply the year-to-date numbers, multiplied by the number of checks, 13 checks before the date. Then in the third quarter, they were paid 7 times. So AE straddles the cap, right? They go over the 32,000 in the third quarter. How much do they go over? They go over 32,000 in the third quarter by $14,280. B's nowhere near the cap, so she doesn't have any excess wages. And C was over long before we got into the quarter. So all of her wages are excess. So then I just tallied those numbers up and pulled them straight into here. I think this is the only percentage I have to give you. Because you know OASPI, you know HI, you know the additional 0.9% for HI over 200 grand. You look up fit and SIP based on the the W4 numbers. You know the FUTA rate. So really FUTA and workers' comp are the only numbers I have to give you, or conversion factors. Yeah? What are you puzzled about? Gosh. Anything?
What is that?
That's the total. It asks for total wages paid this quarter. I just tallied up the third quarter wages, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
The key is, you guys, let me just think if I can say this. You have to do some sort of table before you go to the SUTA report. You have to do some sort of table before you go to the what report? FUTA, and it's the exact same thing with FUTA, isn't it? When did they cap? Huh? Yeah, how much do they cap at for FUTA? 7,000. FUTA caps at $7,000 per person per year. You gotta do the same kind of table, we practice that. You can't just jump into the 940. You gotta do the backup work, right? All right. Workers' comp. Review. Let's use these same 3 people. Let's go back to use this scenario right here. And I've got a chimney cleaning business. And I'm the manager. And that's how much I make. But these are too crazy numbers. These are monthly paychecks now. Okay? Oops. Monthly checks. I'm the manager. I'm just starting my business. And I'm going to start my business on 5/1. And I'm going to pay, this is my part-time mason. And this is my full-time mason. And this is my estimate, this is off my business plan. And I get back from the state fund. Well, tell me what happens. What do I do first? So I've got my business plan, I'm projecting this, what do I have to do now? I'm sorry? Before even that, step one. I do, but even before that, what do I have to do with workers' comp? I got to register, right? But it's not even really called register there. You're doing what? Applying, essentially. But you're correct, Kim. You have to apply, and on the application, you have to estimate annual wages by what? By day, by month, by category, by what? Right? Well, that's right in the word annual. By category of employee. So like on what you guys just did for me now, you segregated the driver from the salespeople, right? On the example we did in class, I can't remember what we did in class. What kind of company did we have? I can't remember. Anyways, in this example, I've just got two categories of people, don't I? Masons and me. So they come back and on my application, I send all this in and they come back and they give me, so employer does this, and then state fund gives you some sort of ratings. And the ratings they came back with, do you think Masons are high risk, low risk, mid risk? Yeah, I mean, probably, they're probably, a Mason works with stone, bricks. Yeah. So that confused everybody last time. I'm just going to give you their gross wages. You don't really care. That 0.5 threw everybody completely into a tizzy last week. So what I want to know is two things. Well, just one thing actually at this point. What's my deposit for the upcoming year? What's my deposit? State fund gives me a rating, and now I've got to send them some money. For a deposit. 5.3.
Don't you just take the checks and times it by the risk factor number? Isn't that what it is?
I think that you need to figure out the annual gross per category and then figure out how much they rated it at. So how much do you guys think the Masons made? Or are estimated to make? Together, 34,872, right? And I'm estimated to make 72,000. What number did I just say? 34,872. Masons and manager. Right? And those numbers they give me are actually what's, even though you don't see it. They're percents. They don't put a percent by it. You're not paying 5 times the wages, obviously. It's a percentage. So 34,872 times 0.053, $1,848.22. And $72,000 times 1.1% is $792. So I send them a check, $2640.22, right? Once I send them a check for $2640.22, they send me something called a what? That I take out to my job sites. A binder. Then, with everything being equal, or I guess non-eventful, what's the next situation or next transaction I have with them? You just did this.
End year, like, if we made that, if we actually did use all of them, or if they owe us.
Yeah, at the end of the year, as of 4/30, they're going to want for me an annual payroll report saying, here's what I actually paid my Masons. Here's what I actually paid myself, if I'm covered. I might not even cover myself. If I don't cover myself, I've got a what? IC exemption. The next thing that happens is State Fund sends me an annual payroll report, right? And is that probably, are these wages probably exactly what happened? Probably not. So I have to report, all I do is fill in my actual numbers. And then they're going to compare it. I'm not going to make you do the reconciliation on the test.
Those numbers are non-overtime wages, though, if you don't.
Oh, great point. So when you do that, the wages that you plug into the annual report, if there was some overtime, do I not count those hours at all?
We don't-
I do, but I count them at what? At the regular rate. So I've got to pull the 0.5 off. Okay. What else?
If that's on the test, how would you do that? Like, how would
I would have to tell you. Of the $6,292 of wages, 836 of that is the 0.5 overtime. You just subtract it. You have to know how to gross up. Do you want to do a gross up? This is really going to make you want to grow up and be an accountant, huh? It's like boring. From what I can see, she's going to end up in the hospitality management industry. All right, grossing up wages. That is a classic example of what sort of wages?
Bonus, commission. If you want to give-
Bonuses, discretionary bonuses, severance pay, retro pay, those are all called what? Supplemental wages. And what do I withhold FIT at for supplemental wages? How much? 22%. Fit, supplemental wages, how much do I withhold at? 22% for fit, how much for sit? No, I think didn't we use 3? Or did we use 6?
I think it was 3.
You tell me that we use
That you want to-
Hold on a second. Let me give you some numbers, and then I'm going to clarify that, because it just changed, but I can look it up pretty easily. So here's the scoop. I'm cutting 2 checks at the end of the year. Do we have time to do this? I'm cutting 2 checks at the end, just 1 check at the end of the year. And I want to give you a check for $1,500 in your pocket. And your year-to-date wages before today were $111,000. And you're married with 3 on your W-4. I want you to gross up that check and make the 941 deposit. So you're going to start from what?
the bottom.
Yep, that's what gross up means. So always start by actually doing this. So it reminds you, oh, I'm going up. We never do that, other than on these. I about had it now. About had it. Oh, shit. Good for you. Oh. Good. I've got to clarify that percentage for you. %. So does the M3 matter at all? No, you have to just use straight supplemental rates when you gross up.
Oh, this is nice.
What percentage is OASDI
6.2,
and HI?
1.45.
Do we need to worry about the 0.9?
No,
Why not?
because we didn't cap at 200,000, or exceed 200,000 a year.
She made 111 before, so she didn't go over 200,000, nor is she at the 128.4. No big deal.
Would you even put that in if you're doing it as a flat for everybody, like multiple people type of thing? Would it just be it doesn't matter if they talk about?
Oh, no, it does matter. You would have to do it individually. So the next thing I do is total the taxes. And they come to 0.0765 765 plus 0.22 plus 0.06. So my taxes are 35.65%. Therefore, my gross is 100% of itself. I subtract 35.65 taxes. Therefore, my net check is
64.
So all you have to do now is just divide the 1,500 by that percentage. And then you multiply that by each of the taxes, 6.2, 1.45, 0.22, 0.06. And it should magically come down to $1,500. You might have to adjust a penny or two. On your 941 deposit, 2 shares of OASDI, 2 shares of HI and DIP. We're in here up from 110 to 310 on Tuesday. If you guys can open up your email and go to April 22nd, please. You should see an email from the University of Montana. Open up your email, go to the 22nd, please, of April. And you should see an email from the University of Montana. Do you see it?
Yeah, I've got it done already.
Oh, you got it done already?
I did it too, right? I spent
I did it in
class.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, yay. All right, well, we'll see you. If you didn't get it done, I really honestly want you to stay here and finish it. It's a core piece of the whole system here.
I give you an F.
No.
That's okay, she'll pass it on to you.
Right.
Yeah. It turns out I've got all the power and I'm tenured.
Question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir,
Oh, God, sorry.
so I was looking at the grading on the total points.
Yeah.
Like, your points don't match up to what you have.
What do you mean? Catch up to what I have there.
So like,
I've got a meeting in 10 minutes, so tell me.
well, like, because I added up like the points I've got in the classes equal what you have as a total.
I don't have anything Google does on that.
Oh, well, the Moodle really screwed up that.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
because,
look-
yeah, out of the points.
You're saying like adding up the base points, don't add to the total?
Yeah, so like 611 and I get like 100 and something.
Here.
Yeah, yeah. that's
Oh,
what I
yeah,
get.
no, but that's because we still have points I got.
But all the points are in there.
Yeah, all of
Well, I mean, like everything
Oh,
that we
it's
have
got
for
points though. Yeah, I don't know what those 611 is.
yeah, because I was trying to calculate my
I
grade
can,
and everything.
well, the way to calculate your grade is add up
That's what I
everything
did.
that you
And then-
got and divide it by the base.
And that's
I
what I
don't
did.
know what that
Okay,
611 is.
yeah, because in reality, then I'm like a percentage.
Don't use the Moodle percentages.
Okay.
Those, I don't even know where those numbers
Okay.
come from.
Okay, good.
Sure. Let me shut this down.
Nice, I see the two, or A. Yeah, good job.
So I'm up to 85% for my, that's 7.
Good job. I told you guys would pull it.
Okay, bye, Shyler.